welcome once again to That 70's Song Show, a Tribungus production in which we share our love of music and music history with you in the form of a music trivia game. My name is Tim, and I'm here once again with my dearest friends Mark and Jessica, the owners of Tribungus. We've got a game in 3 rounds that you can play with us. We'll explain as we go, but before we do that, I would like to pass the mic along to Jessica, and could you tell our audience about Tribungus, if you will?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tim. Hey, everyone. So Tribungus is a production company based in Middletown, Delaware. And my partner and I look forward to telling stories, whether it's promotional for your business, corporation, whether it's a creative project or even a music album. We can do all these things to help you produce your goal, your dream. And the main thing that we would like to bring to it is a personal touch from the standpoint of making sure we understand what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish and get the world to hear your story because we all matter.
Thank you, Jessica. As we've explained in the previous episode, the title of the show is That 70's Song Show because for the entire first season, we're going to be focusing on a different year in each episode of the 70s in order. So today we're doing 1971, the year that I was born. So it's a good year in my opinion. And I'm looking forward to people who were around at that time or perhaps at least remember the music well enough to reminisce with us. Or if you were not born, in the last, before, I don't know, if you're not as old as us, we'll say, perhaps you're not familiar with a lot of this music, and maybe by listening to the show or watching the show, you'll become accustomed to some of it. Maybe seek some of these artists out. There's a lot of great music in the past that younger people might not know about. But whether you're young or old, I really do hope you enjoy the show and perhaps join us. So we have a game in 3 rounds. Our first round is based on Billboard's Top 50 Songs of 1971. And if you're interested in playing along, we do have an alphabetical list in the description. So I'll let you know before we start so you can pause and pick your own list. And we'll see how you do.
Round 1, Top 10, Points Explainer. Each contestant picks 10 songs from an alphabetized list of the top 50 songs for that year and ranks them from 1 to 10 as their guest placement. The contestants' song picks are then compared to the actual ranking of the top 50 songs for that year. The relative placement of each song is determined based on its ranking in the top 50 songs for that year. If the guest placement of the song is the same as its relative placement, then the contestant gets 1 point and half a point if it's off by 1. Any song picked that also ranked in the top 10 of the top 50 songs for that year earns a bonus point. Each song that doesn't get points awarded to the contestants earns the host a half point each.
So before I go on, now you're going to get a chance to go look at the list of top 50. So go ahead and pause the show for a second. Look at your list if you want. Make your own list of top 10 songs and then come back and follow us and we'll see how you do. All right, so now that you're back, hopefully you've chosen some songs. I mean, again, it's a little tough if you don't know all these songs, but I hope you do your best. Also, before I go on, if you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, and especially if you were with us for our last podcast, please hit like and subscribe, leave comments, tell us what you think. We're definitely looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Moving along, let's get on with the show. So round number 1, I have the results of both Mark and Jessica's list that they sent back to me, determining which songs they think were in the top 10. And I mentioned this on the last podcast, one of the most fascinating things to me is, depending on where you're from, when you were born, or any number of things in your life, songs that you might remember as popular might not be the same songs that other people remember as popular. And that definitely shows in today's episode, because out of the 50 songs on the list, you both chose 2 of the same songs. I'm going to go ahead with the songs that you both chose first. All right, and I'm going to start with the Temptations, Just My Imagination Running Away With Me. All right, you obviously both remember this song. Mark, you put this song at number 8 on your list. Jessica, you put it at number 4. So the actual position of the song for the year was number 9, so not exact, but that's okay. We're looking for the order, not the exact number. So Mark, like I said, you put yours at number 8, but according to the 10 songs that you gave me, it would actually appear 5th place. on your list. So no points for that song for you. However, Jessica, you put it at number 4, and you're off by 1. It would be number 3 on your list, so you get a half a point for the Temptations. So far, Jessica's in the lead. Thanks. All right, okay. Moving along. I'm going to try to keep doing this quickly because we've got a lot of songs to cover. So the next song is Three Dog Night's Joy to the World. All right, so let's see here. Mark, you put this at number 3 on your list. Jessica put it at number 1, and had I not seen the list beforehand, I probably would have done the same. And matter of fact, Joy to the World is actually the number 1 song of the year. Wow. So not only, Jessica, did you get it right for being first, but you also get 2 additional points for putting it at the exact number. So you get 3 points for that song right there. So you're killing it so far already. Mark, unfortunately, it would have been number 1 on your list, but you put it at 3. So no points for you this time. All right, but we got a whole lot of songs to cover here. So each of you have 8 songs that you chose individually. So I'm going to try to go through them as quickly as possible without rambling too much. We'll start with George Harrison's My Sweet Lord. Mark, you chose that. You put it at number 5. The actual position was 31 for the year, but on your list it comes out at number 10. So no points for you. All right. Jessica, you put Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's Mr. Bojangles on your list at number 8. The song finished at 44 for the year. And according to the songs you chose, it would actually be at number 10, so no point for that song. All right. Any comments so far?
No.
Anything? All right, well, we're doing good? Okay. All right, so back to Mark's list. You chose Tom Jones's She's a Lady. Whoa, whoa, She's a Lady. A song which was number 25 for the year. You put it at number 4, but it actually finishes on your list at number 9. So again, no points. I'm not doing too good here, Mark.
No.
So next song on Jessica's list was Cher's Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, one of my personal favorites. This song was number 39 for the year. You put it at number 5 on your list, but unfortunately it would finish at 9 according to the songs that you chose. So no point for Cher. All right, let's see. How many we got here? We still got 6 songs for each of you, so...
Chewy.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of good stuff here, too, I gotta say. I can understand why it was tough, because so many of these songs I remember very clearly and were very, very popular. So it's not an easy contest, you know. So up next, Mark, you chose Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. You know, very, very popular protest song by Marvin Gaye. And you put that song at number 9 on your list. It was actually number 21 for the end of the year, but according to the 10 songs that you chose, it would be at number 8, so you get half a point for being off by 1. So far, you got half a point, and I think Jess, she's got like 20 more than you. Jessica, the next song on your list is another beautiful song by Gordon Lightfoot called If You Could Read My Mind. Okay, you chose that as your number 10 song. It finished at 36 on the Billboard chart for the year, but unfortunately, it would actually go at number 8 according to your 10 songs. So no point for Gordon Lightfoot. Right? Back over to Mark. I've got the Rolling Stones' Brown Sugar, which you put at number 2. The song finished at 16 for the end of the year, so that puts it at 7th place. Unfortunately, on your list. So again, no point, Mark. I'm just gonna get like a some kind of voice thing I could press and say no point for Mark. Back to Jessica's list. We've got 5-man electrical band with Signs. This song finished at number 24 for the year, but Jessica, you put it at number 2, and unfortunately, it would finish in 7th place on your list. So no point for Signs. All right, let's see. We got 4 songs for each of you still. Mark, you chose Janis Joplin's Me and Bobby McGee. You put this as your number 1 song. It finished for the year at number 11, and unfortunately that placed it 6th according to the 10 songs that you chose. So no point for Me and Bobby McGee. Switching back over to Jessica, I've got Mr. Big Stuff by Gene Knight, which you put at number 6. So this song finished at number 18 on the year-end chart, and it is in fact the 6th song on your list in the correct order. So you get a full point for Mr. Big Stuff, and you're killing Mark with the points right now. So, all right. Okay, 3 more to go for each of you. Mark, you've got John Denver's "Take Me Home, Country Roads." You put this as your number 10 song. It finished on Billboard's list at number 8. And so that puts it pretty high, as you can imagine. So according to your list, it would actually be the number 4 song. So once again, a big 0 for you, Mark.
Thank
so
you.
sorry.
Big
so
0.
sorry. We'll have a funeral for your points at the end of the show. Up next, Jess, you chose James Taylor's You've Got a Friend. Another beautiful song. You put that at number 9. And according to Billboard, it is the number 17 song for the year. So You've Got a Friend would actually be the 5th song on your list. So unfortunately, way too far off. No points for you on that one. Let's see, Mark, one of your last 2 songs here. You've got the Bee Gees, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? All right, and I just want to ask, are there any songs that either of you haven't recognized yet? Because these are all...
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's what I figured. So, Mark, you put the Bee Gees at number 7. They finished at number 5 for the end of the year, but on your list, it would be number 3. So off by 4. Again, no points, Mark. Oof. There's got to be some points in here for you somewhere, you know? Jessica, you chose Tony Orlando and Dawn's Knock 3 Times. You put that at number 7 on your list. It finished 10th place on the Billboard list, and unfortunately, according to your 10 songs, it actually would be 4th place. So no point for Tony, Orlando, and Dawn. And you've got 1 song left each. Mark, your last song was Rod Stewart's Maggie May / Reason to Believe, a B-sided single. You put this at number 6, but according to Billboard, it was the number 2 song of the year. So it actually finishes 2nd on your list. So again, no points. In fact, on your whole list, Mark, you've received a half point for Marvin Gaye. I think it's easy to see who's in the lead right now.
Oh, wee.
So Jess's final song is also a B-sided single by Carole King, and that is It's Too Late with I Feel the Earth Move. And Jess, you put that at number 3 for the year. And just for the record, that song was actually number 3. So you receive another 2 points. And I just realized that I shorted you points on this list here. Oh, I forgot to mention the bonus points. That's why. There's a reason, because, yeah, you would only have 7 points so far. But the bonus points include every song that you correctly identified as a top 10 song. Mark, you got 5 of those. So your total score is 5.5 points. Not too bad. Not too bad.
I'll take it.
Jessica, you got 4 of those. So your total score is 11, including the 7 you got for all the great guesses that you had. So, okay, now, Mark, because you didn't get points on 9 of your songs. That gives me 4.5 points because, as we know, we're all playing. So any songs that you don't get correct, give me points.
You're welcome.
And Jessica, you did not get points for 6 songs, which gives me 3 more points. So I have a total of 7.5 points. And as it stands right now, Jessica, you're in the lead with 11. I am at 7.5. Mark, you are at 5.5. I'm so sorry. Dang, you're at shit. All right, so according to Billboard, 1971, the top 10 songs are as such. Number 10 was Tony Orlando and Dawn's Knock 3 Times. Number 9, we have The Temptations' Just My Imagination Running Away With Me. Number 8 was John Denver's Take Me Home, Country Roads. Number 7, neither of you picked this song. This was Donny Osmond's Go Away, Little Girl. Do you remember that song? Go away, little girl. Go away. Not your thing, huh?
Nope.
Donny Osmond was the Justin Bieber of the 70s. No, I'll take that back. Someone don't at me. All right, everybody be nice in the comments. All right. Number 6, another song that neither of you chose, and I can understand if it's if you don't recognize the title, you might not remember what it was. This was Indian Reservation: The Lament of the Cherokee Reservation Indian by the Raiders.
Oh.
Okay.
I would have heard it though, but by name it doesn't.
It's one of those songs that I have to drum up to be like, oh yeah, I remember that song. You know. Number 5 was the Bee Gees. How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Number 4, another song I'm kind of surprised that neither of you picked, but this you didn't necessarily know how songs performed on the chart at the time, and it's based on point system for the charts. Number 4 was the Osmonds' One Bad Apple. Remember that song? No, you don't remember that? Okay. It's a perfect example of a song that was really popular at the time, but maybe didn't stand the test of time, and a lot of people don't know it anymore, you know? Number 3 was Carole King's It's Too Late, I Feel the Earth Move. Number 2 was Rod Stewart's Maggie May, Reason to Believe. And number 1, as we stated before, Three Dog Night, Joy to the World. Congrats, Jess, on your awesome score. So now that we've concluded round 1, we're going to move on to round 2, in which we have a music trivia question, where first I will ask 3 questions to Mark and Jessica. And then Jessica will ask 3 questions to myself and Mark. And then Mark will have a bonus round question that is worth more points. So The basic point system is this. For every answer that one of us gets correct, we get 1 point. But if one of us is incorrect, the reader gets a half a point. All right. These are, again, these questions are based on songs or related issues that happened in 1971. They're generally music related. So here we go. All right. You ready for your question?
Yep.
Okay, according to the 1971 song "Me and Bobby McGee," in which U.S. state capital city did Janis Joplin find herself busted flat? The choices are A. Austin, B. Atlanta, C. Baton Rouge, or D. Nashville. Are you ready?
Go.
Okay, reveal your answers. Jessica says C. Mark says C. You are both correct. The answer is Baton Rouge. So I'm going to give you each a point. No points for me on that one, but Mark, you've moved up to a hefty 6.5 points there. Jessica is now at 12. So still, it's good. I mean, hey, you got something right, so that's something. Let's see if you can keep the streak going. In 1971, Carole King reached the #1 spot in the Billboard chart with "It's Too Late." Please complete these lyrics from the song. Stayed in bed all morning just to pass the time. There's something wrong here. Blank. I'll read the choices for you. A is "There Can Be No Denying." B, "Don't You Know That I'm Trying." C, "Can't You Feel How I'm Dying?" Or D, "Please Don't Say That I'm Lying." Okay, reveal your answers. Jessica says A. Mark says B. The correct answer is A. There can be no denying. So once again, Jess is running away with the score here. Up to 13 points. And Mark, because you got that one wrong, I get a half a point. Yay, me. I'm up to 8, Mark. You're at 6.5. So sorry. You're not going to get the special prize at the end, you know? All right. Moving on to my third and final question before I pass it along to Jessica. Okay. So again, in 1971, James Taylor released his hit single, "You've Got a Friend." Which season of the year is mentioned first in the song's chorus? A, winter, B, summer, C, spring, and D, fall. You ready, folks?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Jessica says C. Mark says D. Seriously? Oh my gosh. Because as I'm reading the question, I just thought to myself, oh, this was too easy. I can't believe I just gave it away. The answer is A, winter. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you have to do is call. Yeah, wow. Okay, I thought that'd be a lot easier. So no points for either of you.
I couldn't conjure the melody in my head.
It happens. So I get a full point because neither of you got that right, which puts me at 9. And that's the end of my part of the round. So as we stand, Jessica's got 13, I've got 9, and Mark has 6.5. Oh, all right.
All right. 1971, the year that National Public Radio, NPR, broadcasts for the first time. The Walt Disney World theme park is opened.
Oh, yeah.
And the microprocessor wasn't invented. And the microprocessor was invented. Sounded like I said uninvented the first time.
Uninvented, yeah.
Okay. So question number 1. What American singer-songwriter performed their first live concert in 1971 at Carnegie Hall? A, Joni Mitchell, B, Carole King, C, James Taylor, or D, Roberta Flack?
Torn between two of them here.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Okay.
All right.
What y'all say? B and C. Mark gets a point for B. It was Carole King.
I should have guessed that.
And just a little add-on, she wrote or co-wrote 118 pop hits in the Billboard Hot 100.
And that's exactly why I should have picked her. And I thought to myself, she was already popular before she was a solo artist. So stupid on my part. You know. All right. So you're also getting a half a point for me getting that wrong. So,
right.
Okay, ready for the next question.
All right. Whose birthplace opened to the public in 1971 as a tourist attraction? A, Neil Diamond, B, Dolly Parton, C, Elvis Presley, or D, Bob Dylan? All right, you both get a point. It was C, Elvis Presley. His birthplace, a 2-room shack in Tupelo, Mississippi, was opened in 1971 to the public as a tourist attraction.
Right, all right. Good for us.
Okay. Last question from me. The Beatles was the first band to sell out Shea Stadium. Who broke that record and became the second band to perform a sold-out concert, breaking the Beatles record?
Shea Stadium.
Was it A, Grand Funk Railroad, B, Creedence Clearwater Revival, C, The Foundation, or D, The Doors?
And this concert happened in 1971?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Oof. All right.
Oh, okay, both Mark and Tim say D, The Doors, but the answer was A.
Oh.
Grand Funk Railroad
Never would have guessed that.
becomes only the second band after the Beatles to perform a sold-out concert at Shea Stadium.
Wow. Well, we tanked that last one, so that's a full point for Jessica.
Because actually, no, 'cause I think Jim Morrison died in 1971.
I thought it was 72, but I'm not sure. Because they were hugely popular right up until they died.
Music history fact checker.
All right, we need that person. All right, so moving along, we are at the final part of round 2, where Mark will ask Jessica and I a bonus question. And if I'm correct, this question is worth 3 points if we get it right. And if either of us get it wrong, it is 1.5 points for Mark.
Sure.
All righty. So go ahead, Mark. Go get us with your question.
All right, this is a true or false again. A for true, B for false. All right, so the 1971 song My Sweet Lord by George Harrison. He got in a wee bit of trouble for this song. So, true or false, in 1971, he was ordered to pay the Chiffons for basically plagiarizing the 1963 song He's So Fine.
Yeah, I remember. I kind of vaguely remember that. All right. So A
So
is
A
true.
is true.
B is false.
B is false. That he had to pay it in
Yeah.
the year 1971. Show me your answers. Trick question. So
Damn
you
you,
both
damn
got
you.
it wrong. So actually in 1981, he was ordered to pay $587,000. And he remarked that he wasn't a conscious thing. He thinks he just subconsciously picked up on it, and he talks about it in his biography that came out in Me Mine or something, whatever. Anyway. In 81 is when he had to pay a little over $500,000 for that song.
Okay, good question. So that, because we both got it wrong, gives you a total of 3 points, which propels you into second place, Mark. So yeah, there's always a chance that you'll come back. So again, at the end of second round, we've got 14.5 points for Jessica, 11.5 points for Mark, and I am behind at 10 points. All right, so we have reached the final round of our show, and this is we call this the nostalgia round. It's the apex of the show because this is what it's all about: music nostalgia, getting in touch with how music makes you feel and brings back memories and things like that. So how this round works is that we're just going to we picked a song from the year 1971, and we're going to tell a story about that song that brings us back, gives us nostalgia, or anything significant that has helped us in our lives. We each have 5 points to give to the other two players, which can be split up. You can give all 5 points to one person and 0 to the other, whatever you see fit. So do you have your songs ready and your stories ready to go? All right, I'll begin this one because I started with the two of you the last time. And the song I chose was Rod Stewart's Maggie May, Reason to Believe, which for the very simple, selfish reason that it was the #1 song the day I was born. It was actually #1 for 5 weeks. So anybody born within that 5 week span, that was their #1 song. Same goes for, what's her name? Stranger Things lady, who's now named, I'm totally forgetting. Winona Ryder was born 4 days after me, so that's also her birthday song. The reason this is important to me is because at some point in my life I picked up on the American Top 40 charts, which is why, kind of one of the things that influenced this show was like my love of the charts and how well the songs did. And I've studied that stuff like a maniac for years. So it was fascinating when I finally was able to be old enough to buy the publications and go look at the music history of all the charts and stuff. I went back to find out what my #1 song was. Like, it was exciting. So like everybody's got a song that was #1 the day they were born. And significantly, the song I chose for the last episode, the Carpenter song, was my sister's #1 song on the day that she was born. So yeah, that's why I chose Maggie May. You know, not the greatest story, but it does have some personal, you know, it does relate to some personal influence with my love of the charts. All right. So ready to move along. Let's, Jessica, let's go to you this time. Why don't you tell us your story?
Can I talk about 2 songs?
I suppose. No extra points, but, well, you can determine whether or not you think it deserves extra points, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to y'all. Like, if
Sure.
you're like, nah, she's cheating, she doesn't get any points, like, it's up to you all.
Okay.
I mean, so the reason I'm mentioning 2 is because I can't pick which one is the most significant.
Gotcha.
And, like, one is just kind of more sad-ish, so the other one kind of balances that out.
Okay.
So, the first song is Mr. Bojangles.
Oh, cool.
And this is, you know, just coming from general childhood, because I found it to be an unusual song. It
Yes.
wasn't your typical, like, romance or love profession. It was, you know, and picking out this song, I realized that it had its grounds in fact. And learning about that when I was picking the song just actually took that song to a whole new level. Because I don't think I fully listened to every single word when I was a kid, but the idea that there was this performer who would dance, and I had mixed feelings because I never felt like I could see the perspective of that person, only the person who was singing the song.
Gotcha.
So I kind of was like, oh, but, you know, I hear it from this one perspective, but I don't know what the other one is. But it just kind of had a sadness to it that, even though I didn't really know why there was sadness there, and I don't even know if it really was, but it evoked that kind of sadness of reality.
No, I
almost,
agree.
you know, like, you know, someone who has to perform to get by.
Yeah.
You know, in the song, you know, they're in a jail cell. It's like,
Yeah, it seemed like a tough life for the character in the song. And I remember the song
Exactly.
very well growing up. My father had a copy of it, and it evoked the same kind of sadness. Like this, I don't know, this poor guy. Like, I was too young to understand the lyrics really, but I just
Right.
got that sense that this person was put upon, so to speak, and you feel bad for him, you know? So,
yeah, but the performance of the songs,
Yes.
there was like an appreciation and reverence,
I see
which
what you mean. Okay.
which I appreciated. So it was really kind of it was complex.
Okay,
And
I
that
gotcha.
was, you know, that complexity drew me in. The other song, and this is going to be probably brief, but was Joy to the World. So I did pick that one as #1, but I didn't really know it from the 70s. I learned about it in the 80s
Okay.
when I went to camp during the summers and spent, you know, weeks on end with other girls. And it was a popular song, so the Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog line came out. You know, I mean, we're out in the wilderness and there's woods and bullfrogs.
Bullfrogs, yeah.
But, like, that was my first exposure to it, so, to the song. And when so I learned the song through other campers and other girls my age who had been exposed to it. And it was such a catchy, easy song to kind of get into.
Yeah.
But it takes me back to my childhood and exploring and making friends and all that kind of stuff. So
Okay,
those are my...
very cool. And personally, my experience with that song was I was in a chorus in the 70s, and that was one of the songs we had to sing. So, all right, well, very cool. We got 2 stories out of you. So, Mark, now it's time for your story. So, lay it upon us.
All right, so my song goes way back. It's like an origin story.
Oh boy, I'm gonna be here a while.
Because really, I mean, it's coming from probably the earliest memories I have.
Okay.
Period. And I think I rely on the memory of my family and home movies of me reacting more than probably like my first-hand memory of it. And so my song is John Denver's "Take Me Home, Country Roads."
Oh man.
Because you know, I was probably 2 or 3 years old, and my dad, he loved John Denver, and when he was still playing guitar,
My dad too. Oh my
he
God.
played, you know, he would play all those songs over and over again and sing them and play them, and apparently I would dance around and, you know, little toddler dance, shake on camera, shake on the whatever, and that guitar, I still have it today. It's up in our living room in the house, and it's I've written probably more songs on that guitar as a musician than any instrument I have in my collection, and so. Again, there's one of the earliest pictures of me is with that guitar, and I'm like 3 or 4 years old, and it's on my lap, and like, so it's, so it was a no-brainer when I saw that on the list. Like, okay, well, then that's the song, because it really is. It's where it all started. I mean, I'm sure I had a lot of reason why I play guitar and picked up an instrument and started doing it. So yeah,
very, very cool. And for the record, we also sang that song in chorus in the 70s. So now, before we get to the points, if you're still here with us and paying attention, we would love to hear your nostalgic story. If one of these songs brought back a memory for you, please comment. We'd like to hear it. So now we get to award each other our points. I'll say again, everyone's got 5 points to hand off to the other 2. You can split them any way you want. You can go 5-0, 3-2, 4-1, whatever works for you. Mark, why don't you start first?
All right, so I'm going to I do a split, so 3 points to Jess for both of her stories, mainly, I think, Joy to the World, because I knew that's very sentimental.
Yeah. Taking
some early memories, being a camp girl, so very cool. That's those things, the impressions that those songs can make. They truly last a lifetime, right? So even if you haven't heard the song in 30 years, it's just always there. It's just so. And then 2 points for you, Tim, for your song. 'Cause it was your birthday song.
Birthday song.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Jessica. Go ahead, dole out your points.
I would like to award 3 points to Mark for the Take Me Home Country Road song, partly because of the impact that it had on him, but also because I almost picked that one as well, but I was like, I gotta cut it off somewhere. But that was one of, if not the only song, because my memory is not great, of being able to belt out singing along with in the car whenever it would come on with my parent. Like, we'd all just sing it, and that didn't happen often. So that's where that extra comes in. I was like, oh, should I do 2.5 to each? But Tim, that leaves you 2. I wanted to do like more just because, birthday song.
Yeah.
But that it's like almost like, oh, the gift of that song is going to be with you too. So you get 2 points.
I between mine and Mark's stories, I definitely would have chosen Mark's over mine. It was much deeper. And on that note, Jessica, I'm going to give you 2 points because you had 2 pretty good stories, I have to say. Again, it's always fascinating to see how certain songs influence you, either in the past or even now. And I think they're both pretty good stories there. But I gave my 3 points to Mark because it was very personal, the whole story about the guitar and the home videos to that. Like, that's the kind of, I could imagine us like playing a little clip of your home videos at the end of the show and playing that song, very moving and emotional. So that is where my points stand. And now that we've done that, I'll read you the total points. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So I'm in last place, which again is fine, don't mind. 14 points between the 2 of you. Mark, you got 17.5 points.
Wow.
Jessica, you are in the lead. You got 19.5 points, which means you win the game. And for winning the game, you get 1 week of not doing the dishes. Which it doesn't mean the dishes will be done. It just means you don't have to do them for a week. They'll be there next week, and you can do them then.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
you.
So before we go, Mark, you want to share info about our Spotify and Apple Music playlist?
Again, we've curated playlists of our favorite songs from the year 1971, and there are links to either the Spotify playlist or the Apple Music playlist, whatever your preference is, in the description of the video. We've also, as Tim said, there's the top 50 songs are listed in alphabetical order from the year. So if you played in round 1, that was great. And tell us how you did. Shameless plug.
Yes.
Weirder Johns right here. We have T-shirts.
Yes.
You can buy in our online store, store.trimungus.com. We got stickers. We've got T-shirts. We got T-shirts.
And check out if you like parody music videos, check out our video for Weirder Johns if you're interested. We've got a couple other ones there too that we might enjoy.
Yep. But I wanted to give Tim a moment to do a plug. So, Tim, congratulations.
Oh yes, thank you.
The release of your novel.
Yes, if you're into sci-fi stories and have a Kindle and are interested in an ebook that won't take you too long to read, it's less than 400 pages. I have a book out now called Evergreen, Choose Happiness. I'm very proud of it. I would love it if you give it a chance. It's only $5. Hopefully, but by all means, don't spend money unless you're gonna read it, because I really want the story to get out there. And if you're into that kind of thing, I hope you check it out, and I thank you if you do.
And there will be a link to that in the description of the video as well.
Yes. So on that note, Jessica, anything to add before we go?
No.
You have a good time?
Oh, this is fun. I won.
All right, and you don't get to do the dishes for a week as they pile up. So, all right, well, thank you all for joining us. Hopefully for the second time, we're going to continue our next podcast with the year 1972. Until then, on behalf of Mark and Jessica, my name is Tim. We are Trimungus. Thank you for joining us, and you have a lovely evening. Good night.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Until next time.